bigger than most to me.
You know, the man in the middle right there, number 75, David Latui-Gasanoa, probably the best lineman in the league. Really quick for his size, really strong, expecting to get offers soon.
And the quarterback was absolutely crushed, but he got the ball out, and that's going to be plenty for a first down. Great throw under huge pressure by Nick Zell. He got popped right below the helmet, but he completes it, and that'll be the first down of the evening.
Yeah, as I was saying earlier, Latui-Gasanoa, one of the main reasons he doesn't have an offer right now is because he's only 5'11". If he was just 4 inches taller, if genetics would help him out, he'd be getting offers like crazy. I'd tell you over 10 at least.
Yeah, a little short for a lineman, but boy, he looks like he's got the form down. He's definitely got a future. We saw him pull there on that run to the right. No gain, maybe a yard on the run by Zell. On defense, a couple players to watch for the Pittsburgh Pirates, who come in, as I said earlier, at 6-1, 2-0 in the conference. Linebacker number 23, Charlie Ramirez, the team's leading tackler and the conference's leading tackler. The league's leading tackler. There's a run to the right, met at the line. Good defense there by Pittsburgh. And we were talking earlier about the cornerback, number 2, Jordan Parker, who recently committed to Oklahoma to go play for Bob Stoops.
That is true, yeah. He originally committed to UCLA in April, but in June he decided to decommit. And just about a couple of weeks ago, he made a new commitment to the Oklahoma Sooners. He'll be teaming with Joe Mixon, a former BVAL foe, graduated in 2014.
Probably a good decision to swap out Jim Mora Jr. for Bob Stoops, although UCLA's campus is pretty unbelievable. There's a pass bounced over the middle, incomplete, and that'll bring up 4th down. And this should probably be a punt, as they haven't reached midfield yet. And the punt unit comes out. So Heritage unable to score on their first possession. And now a chance for Pittsburgh to take the lead.
Now I have a scoring update in the BVAL over in Brentwood. Antioch leads Liberty 8-0, just 27 seconds in the game. Najee Harris with a 59-yard touchdown run.
Not much of a surprise there, as the BVAL's best player is off to a hot start for undefeated Antioch. There's the snap and a punt angled towards the sideline. And that's a pretty good punt right there. It takes a bad bounce, though, for Heritage. Looked like that could have been pinned down inside the 15, but it bounced backward. So a decent field position start for the Pittsburgh Pirates at their own 33. They come out with their quarterback, number 12, Christian Young, and their running back, number 21, Montez Thompson, who you mentioned earlier, second only to Harris in rushing in the BVAL.
Yeah, Montez, I heard a lot about him coming to the season. Coming up from the JV level, he has good speed and good power, too.
Still running around. Fires one to the sideline, incomplete. So Christian Young showing off his wheels, but receivers could not get open. Good coverage there in the secondary. He was trying to find Jordan Parker, who you mentioned earlier plays corner and wide receiver, both really well.
Yeah, Christian Young has a lot of talented receivers. He has A.J. Boyd, the sophomore, senior Jordan Parker. He has a lot of weapons he can go to. Also, Gisby, another wide receiver.
They fake the throw to the left, and they run it to the left. And he could be gone down the sideline. Almost beat that last defender. A long run there. And that's a solid first down, a gain of over 30 yards.
That was Tyrese Mack who caught up to him. No more for his offensive prowess, but made a saving play right there on defense.
Yeah, we mentioned Tyrese Mack, the leading rusher and receiver, also with a huge tackle there. So that goes as a gain of 37 yards. Drops back, throws to the right, complete, but he lost the ball, and they're going to rule that. They're going to rule that a fumble. And first down for the Heritage Patriots. Huge play. Pass over the middle. Looked like it was going to be about a 7 to 8 yard gain, but the wide receiver lost control. Scooped up by the Heritage Patriots, and that's a huge turnover as it looked like the Pittsburgh Pirates were coming down to score. So a big play for the underdogs. Zell back in at quarterback.
Shotgun position, one man behind him.
Takes the snap, scans the field, nowhere to go, rolls to his right. He's going to chuck one deep, and probably should have been caught.
That looked like it hit his chest.
Yeah, that looked like it hit him right in the numbers.
No, his vision was impaired by the defender who was in front of him, but yeah, that hit him right on the chest pad.
So a good throw under pressure by Zell, but it falls to the turf, 2nd and 10 from their own 27. We've broadcast quite a few games here on nationalprepstars.com, and I can't really remember one that has had a close score line, so we'd like to see that today. We'd like to see a nice, good, clean game that's close. We've seen a lot of blowouts. We saw Clayton Valley and Antioch pick apart the opposition. See if we can get a close one here. There's a run up the middle that goes nowhere. Good defensive positioning by the Pirates. And that's going to make it 3rd and 10. Definitely a passing down for Nick Zell. Coach Sanders for the Heritage Patriots in his 3rd season. And Coach Galley for the Pittsburgh Pirates, as you mentioned, in his 14th season, and one of the best coaches in this region. Shotgun snap. And that's definitely a false start on the right guard. Number 67. That'll make it 3rd and 15 from their own 22. The Jaws theme played on this long 3rd down to try to intimidate the Patriots. Looking around, rolling to the right, fires it, and incomplete as Nick Zell was trying to find his wide receiver
that one
on the
was
right
intended
side.
For Ezra Magale. He's forever going to be remembered at Heritage High School. Last year, he made the game-winning leaping catch in the Brentwood Bowl in the corner of the end zone. Miraculous catch. He was really unknown at that point. I don't think he had a catch all season. It was the 6th game of that year, and he kept that momentum, and he was able to be voted 2nd team All BVAL at utility player.
Yeah, he's listed here as an outside linebacker, so that must have been an absolutely huge moment for him.
He
the
plays
Brentwood Bowl was
outside
last
linebacker.
week, this year's edition.
Yes, it was.
Close game.
Yes, very close, even closer than the year before.
I looked that up earlier. It was 8-7, 1-point game. There was a late touchdown and a 2-point conversion.
Yes, that's by Sherrod Thompson, a former Pittsburgh player, transferred to Liberty this year. He also committed 2 weeks ago to Oregon State.
First down and 10. Throw to the right side. Couple moves made. Bounces to the outside. And that's a gain of more than 20 yards. Great catch there. That's A.J. Boyd, the sophomore. Listed at 5'10", 165. Really shifty moves there. And he's got the flashy hair to go with it. First down at the opposition 32. Snap, going for the end zone. Caught!
Oh, my.
And tackled inside the he's all the way inside the 5. He's down to the 4-yard line. Yet again, that's A.J. Boyd from Christian Young.
Man, he's only a sophomore. A couple games ago, he made the game-winning touchdown catch and run, broke a few tackles against Freedom. Amazing game, back and forth the whole time.
from the shotgun at the 4-yard line. There's a throw to the right side, complete, but tackled just short. Good tackle there.
Wow, 3 completions in a row to this kid.
Yeah, just a sophomore. Definitely has a bright future with 2 more seasons to develop. 3 straight catches, so after that turnover, a good defensive stand, and now a chance to punch it in and take a 7-point lead.
No, I expect to see Montez Thompson run up the middle right here.
There's a run up the middle and an easy touchdown.
Oh, Isaiah Turner, excuse me.
So Isaiah Turner, the 5'11 senior running back, gets us our first touchdown here on tonight's broadcast and our first points here on nationalprepstars.com with 6:23 remaining in the first quarter. Extra point pending.
Yeah, Turner came into the season expecting to split time evenly with Thompson. In game 2, he kind of got a little bit of an injury, but Galley says he's close to 100% now as he's ever been.
Extra point splits the uprights, a 7-0 lead for the Pittsburgh Pirates. And the Patriots will take over when we come back. All right, welcome back here on nationalprepstars.com. It's a 7-0 lead for the Pittsburgh Pirates against the Heritage Patriots. Kickoff goes all the way down to the 11-yard line. Here's the return for Heritage, and they're going to make it out to about the 28-yard line after a good second effort there by Aiden Quinn, the sophomore. So after a 67-yard scoring drive, it's time for Nick Zell and the Patriots to answer. Pittsburgh Pirates, as Luke mentioned earlier, the powerhouse of this league, as they've won, what did you say, 10 of the last 14 years they've won this league?
10 of the past 13 years.
10 of the past 13, and they're undefeated so far in the league this year, and it looks like it may all come down to that final weekend.
Yeah, funny you mentioned that because Galley's first season here in 2002, the final game of the season, big little game against Antioch, came all down to the marbles. So his first season here, and he won that. It was a close game. And yeah, ever since then, he's been killing Antioch. I think he's only lost once, and that was in 2006.
There's a handoff to the right. No, he faked it and then throws it short completion to the right, and that'll bring up a third and about 5 yards. Actually, 3rd and 3. Forward progress got him to the 36-yard line. 3rd and 3 from the 36. As always, from the shotgun.
Yeah, a couple running backs back there, one to his left, one behind him for Zell.
Pistol formation. Handoff up the middle. That's not going to be enough for a first down. A good tackle there. They may measure this, but it looked like from our camera angle that he was short.
You know, Pittsburgh this season, they've been pretty inconsistent. The first game of the year, they shut out California High School. California, traditionally a really good team, and they shut them out without Jordan Parker for the last 3 quarters. Then a couple games later, they played Monte Vista and gave up 49 points. Another inconsistent thing has been this league. They had a really close game with Freedom, who is a really high-ranked team in the Bay Area. Then the following week, they played Deer Valley, who's not that high-ranked, and it was even closer. So, I asked Gally, what's the problem with consistency here? And he told me it's mainly been injuries. Players have been dealing with these nagging injuries, but he says most of these guys are 100% right now.
4-yard run to the left there on the motion handoff.
He also added that the defense really changed this year. They graduated so many guys. They had 2 guys on the line go Division I. Sherrod Thompson transferred to Liberty High School. A whole bunch of other good players graduated. So not a lot of returners. So he says those players in the beginning, they were still learning their role. And he says they're just getting into it right now, getting into their own groove.
So they're transitioning, and they're usually a powerhouse. There's a run for Zell to the right, enough to pick up a first down.
Yeah.
This may be a season where Pittsburgh can be beaten in the BVAL. Traditionally, the powerhouse, maybe the likes of Antioch or Liberty, can take them down. Next week is Liberty versus Pittsburgh in Brentwood, correct? And Antioch will take on Pittsburgh the week after that here in Pittsburgh in the Big Little game.
Yeah, last year's defense was incredible. One of the best defensive I've ever seen in high school.
There's a pitch to the right. Good cutback and a lot of yardage here. He could be gone. He is gone. And that's number 22, Kyle Bayett. Kyle Bayett, the senior, the 5'6" senior running back. Number 22. Apologies for that. He broke away, and that's going to tie this ball game.
Yeah, this guy, Kyle Bayett, he had that one great catch earlier in the first series, and then this. I haven't really heard of this guy, but he's having a breakout performance so far tonight.
Yeah, the 5'6" senior having an outstanding start to this game, as Heritage has come from a 7-point deficit to tie it early on, and we may have a contest on our hands here with 3:14 left in the first quarter. Extra point. Up and good. So 7-7. How about that? A long touchdown run with good blocking and good downfield blocking leads to a tie ball game. So Kyle Bayett answers the touchdown earlier, and with just a hair over 3 minutes left in the first quarter, it's Pittsburgh 7, Heritage 7 here on NationalPrepStars.com. A nice lively atmosphere here in Pittsburgh tonight, under the lights. Student section is pretty raucous. We've got a 7-7 ball game.
Yeah, a lot of people thought this was going to be a blowout, but, I talked to Gally. He says you never really know what to expect with Heritage, and he's right. So far, they're bringing it.
As I acclimate myself to this league, I've never covered it before. I'm starting to see who the power teams are and who are the teams that are traditionally lower in the league, but it seems like surprises can happen at any moment. We'll see if that holds true in this one, as Pittsburgh was expected to run away with it. We'll see if they can get to halftime with the lead, or if we could be in for a real close game here. Flag on that return that only made it to the 21.
Yeah, Heritage is not a lay-down team. They may have laid down 2 weeks ago against Antioch. In the first 6 minutes of that game, Antioch already put up 32 points. It just really snowballed on Heritage at that time. I talked to Coach Sanders before today's game, and he's just said, they scored all these points before we could even blink. So they just, winning that, it was just they weren't prepared. But in the following week, they played Liberty, who is also a pretty good team, and they were leading the entire game until the last 2 minutes, where Liberty scored that touchdown, and they lost by 1 point. So they came into that week more prepared, and this week they're prepared too.
So there's a run to the outside to pick up about 7 yards after that 10-yard penalty on the kickoff. And now we have another flag.
Oh, my gosh.
And this looks like it may have been a late hit or a face mask at the end of the play. We'll see.
Looked like the referee from here is calling face mask. I can't tell. Personal foul. Against Pittsburgh.
So Pittsburgh called on that personal foul after the play, so that negates the 7-yard run, and they're backed way up inside their own 10. They're going to snap it from the 7 or 8 yard line.
Halfway towards the goal line right there.
So someone made a mental mistake at the end of that play. So 2nd and 12 from their own 8. Long pass over the middle. He's got his man. This is a huge play. That's Namonte Grisby, and he's going to go all the way for the score. A 92-yard touchdown.
I'm going to have to correct you right there. That was Jordan Parker, number 2. I know his jersey's a little bit tucked up in the back, but yeah, what a great touchdown right there by the Oklahoma commit.
I did miss that. It looks like 7 on the back part of the jersey. On the front, there's a 2. That's the Oklahoma commit, Jordan Parker, a 5'11 senior who plays both ways, with a 92-yard score. And you cannot overlook the throw there by Christian Young, which was on the money, hit him in stride, nice and high. And we are an extra point away from 14
that was like 93.
That was a 92-yard touchdown.
92-yard.
Yeah. Extra point up and good. Boomed right through over everybody back here. 14-7. So a super, super quick answer from the Pittsburgh Pirates, and they retake the lead here on NationalPrepStars.com. Let's take a look at the replay of that last one.
92 yards. Showing off that 4.4 speed he has.
Not often you see 92-yard touchdowns, but after a series of penalties on Pittsburgh, they were backed up inside their own 10. And how about that? Going over 90 yards to give his team a 7-point lead. Jordan Parker, one of the captains of the Pittsburgh Pirates. Here's the kickoff. Low line drive, bounces to the 6. Taken there and swallowed up at the 22-yard line, excuse me.
The biggest storyline going into this week was Pittsburgh's ban and Deer Valley's football team controversy. Video went viral on YouTube and Facebook, over 100,000 collective views, and a lot of people were really brash and really harsh to Deer Valley at first. Both schools came out with a joint investigation press release on Monday, and overall they said it was a miscommunication error on both parties.
So from the 22, a handoff to the right side, swallowed up. That's a loss of a yard.
The reaction on social media was really ugly. People were saying, very hasty and nasty and classless things. So people were saying Deer Valley should indefinitely cancel its football program, which that's
a bit extreme.
That's a bit extreme. That doesn't do anybody any good. This is a huge educational tool, the football program, and it helps kids get out there to college, their future job and, whatever they want to do, whether they want to coach or they want to be a teacher, or a journalist like me. That doesn't do anybody any good. It also raises the school money.
Oh, it's a halfback pass, tipped and nearly intercepted. The throw was there, but it clanked off the hands.
Wow, Pittsburgh's crowd is getting crazy right now. That 92-yard touchdown pumped them up.
Yeah, the student section and the band over there, absolutely raucous.
Yeah, they're really prideful after last week. You know, some people from Pittsburgh still feel that they were the victim of that, you know, so they're coming out to support, show some Pitt pride right now.
I like the soundtrack that they have here at the stadium. They play the Jaws music on 2nd and 3rd and long.
Have you heard the Pittsburgh Pirate Anthem?
I have not.
Oh, 2008 edition. You got to listen to it. It's very nice.
Rolling to his weak side and throwing and intercepted.
Oh, my
No,
gosh.
it just got out of his hands. Almost intercepted there.
That looked like it was going to be a nice diving catch, and then it turned to look like it was going to be an interception, then an incompletion.
That was Kamar Bashirs who cut in front of that, the 6'1 defensive back, the junior. Kamar Bashirs broke it up and almost intercepted it. Good instincts there to jump in front of it. And that brings up 4th and 10. And this is going to be a punt. It's a good snap. Gets the punt off. That's a pretty good punt. And it takes a pretty decent bounce. It's down at the 46-yard line. There is a flag, however.
Well, how many penalties have there been this game?
Hey, you don't see too many penalties in the BVAL games unless a team is really indisciplined.
Well, last week we did see a lot from Antioch. A lot from their line. Still young. Really talented, though.
Antioch's been rolling through their schedule, unblemished.
No, they did come face their toughest opponents last week, Heritage. Only defeated them by 15 points.
Which by Antioch standards this year is a narrow victory.
Their most narrow margin of the season. Prior to that, I think their most narrow margin was 24, something around there.
Yeah, they made quick work of Akalani's in their opener, and they've been rolling ever since.
Yeah, made quick work of Heritage and Pinole Valley. Najee Harris's old home, by the way. He had two brothers who played for that football team.
So another penalty on the Pirates, and that backs them up to just outside the 35-yard line, their own 35. Here's Christian Young from the shotgun, rolls to his right, throws a dart to the right, broken up. Good defensive play there. That's Tyrese Mack playing both ways.
Now I have a scoring update in the BVAL. Deer Valley, 7. Freedom, 7, with 10 minutes remaining in the half. Rayshawn Alexander from Deer Valley High School just scored a 40-yard touchdown run.
Both those teams come into that game at 0-2 in the conference, correct?
True, but Freedom, they have an excuse. They played Pittsburgh and Antioch. Those are their two losses.
And
So
right now, 3 undefeated teams in the league. We're going to lose one of those tonight when we get the result over in Brentwood.
Yeah, at least one. Possibly two.
Unless it's a tie. Is that possible in the BVAL if it goes
ties
like
are
2 overtimes?
possible. There are ties. Actually, I don't know.
Has there ever been a tie? We'll figure that out for you.
Yeah,
at
high
some point.
school overtime is a lot different than NFL overtime. I've seen double overtime and triple overtime, but never quadruple, so I don't know what happens after triple.
There's a big run to the left side, to the 40, to the 30, all the way down to the 20, inside the 20, down to the 12-yard line. Big run there from Montez Thompson, the 5'8 junior, who's been a star this year in the backfield for Pittsburgh. As we mentioned earlier, second only to Najee Harris in the BVAL in rushing. Got that one all the way down to the 12, but it looks like it may be coming back. And how about that? Holding on the offense, and what would have been a 61-yard run is taken back.
That's got to be heartbreaking.
Thompson looking to get over 1,000 yards this season. And they do give him the yardage and then they take it 15 yards back for a downfield block that I guess was a low block.
They got 4 wide right now.
Shotgun snap.
Bubble screen.
Bubble screen to the right. And a nice pickup of 8.
That is Deshaun Thomas right there. Before the season started, Galley told me that this kid has D1 potential, Thomas.
Deshaun Thomas, the 6'1 senior, plays both ways. Going to get one more playoff before the quarter ends. That's a run, and that's enough for a first down. Couple tackles broken there. That's Isaiah Turner with some good yardage. And that brings us to the end of the first quarter. It's Pittsburgh 14, Heritage 7. We'll be right back here on NationalPrepStars.com. So as we come back for the start of the second quarter here.
Hey, is that Galley in pink? Wow. Coach Victor Galley wearing a pink shirt.
It is October. See some players wearing some pink socks and cleats. Breast Cancer Awareness Month. You see that throughout the NFL and college, making its way to high school. Good thing to see. There's a handoff up the middle. That's Thompson, bounces it out to the right. Is he going to make it? He's in. Touchdown, Pittsburgh. Montez Thompson. And that was from 26 yards out. And we'll see. There is a flag. And this one's coming back. So, boy, the penalties are just killing Pittsburgh today. A huge run earlier for Thompson. We thought it was wiped out. They counted it and then had a flag at the end of the play. And then on this one, he bursts to the right and scores a 26-yard touchdown. And now it's got to come all the way back.
What's going on here? You know, when I saw Antioch last week, they made a lot of penalties, and I just thought they can't make these penalties when they play Pittsburgh or De La Salle and expect to be victorious. Now watching this game, Pittsburgh's making all these penalties. So what's it going to be in the big little game? A penalty contest? Whoever makes the least amount wins?
Yeah, it's interesting to see. Pittsburgh's been playing lights out today in every aspect other than penalties. But now, what is this? Are they going to call that a touchdown? There is some confusion here.
They put 20 on the scoreboard right now, so it is a touchdown.
So after all that, some confusion with the referees, they are going to call that a score. And so it is a 26-yard touchdown run for the superstar running back, Montez Thompson. And with the extra point here, it is now 21-7. So the Pittsburgh Pirates, after a long touchdown by Heritage, have made it a 14-point lead. So this game's starting to shape up a little more like we thought it would, despite the penalties.
It's not over yet.
21 first half points already.
Yeah, last game, Pittsburgh, they had a 2-score lead over Deer Valley almost the whole game. But at the very end, Deer Valley came back, and it was just a 3-point lead at the end of the game.
So touchdowns today from Turner, Thompson, and
Parker.
a long touchdown, and Parker, and a long touchdown run on the other end from Kyle Bayett. So 4 different scorers today. 21-7 as Pittsburgh will kick it off. I got to say, I've been to a lot of high school football games. That may be the best band that I've ever seen.
Oh, without a shadow of a doubt.
The Pittsburgh band, and there's a squib kick. A roller eventually snagged there and returned out beyond the 35 to about the 37-yard line. Dominic Warren picked it up and got a few yards. So good field position, as Heritage really needs to get on the board and take advantage of this good field position here. They trail by 14 with 11:10 left in the half. So here's Zell from the shotgun. Handoff up the middle and met at the line. Tyrese Mack, who plays as a wide receiver, a corner, and a running back, gets his second carry of the night, and it goes nowhere. Good defensive push by the Pirates. There's a throw to the right, tipped and incomplete. Throw to his left. So Zell unable to complete that one. The 6'2 junior with a decent start to the game. You mentioned he's had some struggles this year with more interceptions than touchdowns, but he's a junior, and he may be one of the better quarterbacks in the conference next season in the BVAL. But right now it's a little bit of a struggle against teams like Antioch and Pittsburgh. 3rd down and 9. They would really like to get this and capitalize on that field position. Zell nowhere to go with it, then fires one over the middle, and it's complete. Will it be enough for the first down? Completes that one. And that is going to be 4th and inches. So big decision here for Coach Sanders. And it looks like he's going to go for it. 4th and inches, just shy of the 50-yard line. Yeah, it's not even a yard. It's inches. Timeout taken. Pittsburgh calls their first timeout of the half. What do you think they're going to go over here? It's a 4th down play where if they can get the turnover on downs here and put up another score, they could put this game almost out of reach early on. If Heritage is able to get the first down, maybe they can climb right back into this one.
No, defense's coordinator, Charlie Ramirez, is probably going to say, stay on your toes. Expect anything. Don't only expect and prepare for a run up the middle. I say leave some linebackers up there just in case of some slants.
So this is going to be a huge play when the action returns here. Fourth and less than a yard. Huge play here. Under center. Is it a sneak? Scanning the line. Zell trying to draw them offside. Play clock running down. Hard count for Zell. Timeout now called by Heritage, so maybe they'll punt after this. We'll see. Yeah, it does look like they're bringing the punt team out. What do you make of that? They call a timeout. They come out and try to get them with the hard count. Now they're going to punt it on 4th and inches in a game where they trail by 14.
I don't know. I don't agree with it. I would go for it. Less than a yard, 4th down, you're at midfield.
In this situation, where you're down 14, discussion here between coach and the referee. We'll get this sorted out after the timeout, and we'll see what Coach Sanders dials up. Looks like the punt team is out there, though. I guess if you don't get this first down, then you're basically giving Pittsburgh, a really short field and a chance to go up 3 possessions. So maybe the punt is the better call. Good snap back to the punter. And he lets one fly, angling to the side. Takes a good bounce.
Corner.
Excellent punt there inside the 15, down at about the 14-yard line. Right at the 15. First down for Pittsburgh, so they'll have to drive 85 yards if they're to take a 3-touchdown lead. So we'll see if that decision to not go for it there is actually beneficial.
Hey, check out this scoring sequence. Freedom and Deer Valley. Freedom scores 2 points on a safety, and then on the free kick after that, they return it for a touchdown. How often do you see safety returns for touchdowns?
I don't think I've seen one of those in college or in high school where the ensuing punt after a safety gets taken back. So they picked up 7 points, and what's the score there? They picked up 9 points, excuse me.
They actually missed the PAT.
Intercepted on a throw over the middle. Undercut the route. Excellent defense there. An excellent interception by number 80, Trey Love. He plays both ways. The 6'2 junior undercuts the route and intercepts Christian Young. So an absolutely massive play there for the Heritage Patriots on first down. And didn't mean to cut you off there. The scoring update there in the Deer Valley game.
Excuse me?
What's the score in the game?
Yeah, 15 to 9.
15 to 9.
Excuse me, 7. Yeah, they scored 8 points on that sequence. They missed the point after.
It was 7 to 7. It's now 15 to 7.
Yeah,
so
I just
now
read
a great
another
opportunity
score.
for Zell.
Another score. It's 24-9. So that's where I got mixed up. Antioch leads Liberty.
Okay. So 15 to 7. Deer Valley leads in that one. And
Freedom leads in that one.
Freedom leads Deer Valley 15 to 7, and Antioch is leading 24 to 9
to Liberty
against undefeated Liberty in Brentwood. So if Antioch can pull off that win, they still control their own destiny for the title.
They're just undefeated in conference. So
yeah,
4-3 overall.
Yeah, I meant to say undefeated Antioch. They're undefeated for the full season and in conference. Here's the snap. Zell looking. Rolls to the right. Throws incomplete in and out of the hands of... that was intended for Ezra Magale. How do you say that name? Magale?
You did a good job.
I got it. All right. Trying to throw a dart to him to his left while rolling that way. That's a tough throw to make, rolling against the grain like that. So that brings up a 3rd and 6 at the 27-yard line. A big, big play here. Heritage needs to take advantage of that turnover. A great play by their defense, and they need to get points here because you don't know how many times you're going to be able to stop that Pittsburgh offense. Here's Zell. Scans the field. Now he's going to take it himself. Will he get enough of the first down? Big hit right at the 20-yard line. Will that be enough for the first? QB draw, and that's enough to move the chains. Big play there by Zell. So they're now at the edge of the red zone, 1st and 10 from the 20-yard line. Some trickery here. Strange formation. And did we have a timeout called or a penalty? There's a penalty. Delay of game on the offense. That'll bring it back 5 yards, so it'll be 1st and 15 from the 25-yard line. So Pittsburgh trying to have a stop here. The Patriots need a score. There's a run up the middle, and that gets them a yard past the original line of scrimmage, and then a penalty after the play, and we'll see what this is.
We haven't seen a lot of Tyrese Mack yet on offense.
And waiting for the call here. It looked like some extracurricular activity after the play. Dead ball personal foul on Pittsburgh, so another huge penalty on the Pirates. What is going on?
I mean, you know what I was thinking? Since Tyrese has been playing and his brother Tyreek has been sitting out for a non-injury reason. I wonder what if Tyrese got injured? Would Tyreek play? Would he get in there?
So they're brothers, Tyrese and Tyreek?
Tyreek, yes.
Wow.
Twin brothers. Identical twins.
Identical twins with almost identical names. That's a great idea.
Oh, yes.
Goes down to the 10-yard line. Oh, big pressure here, and down goes Nick Zell in the backfield. There's a good sack there and a good sack dance.
I knew someone's down on the field.
Tariq Wright, and we have an injury here.
Yeah, I knew twins named Samuel and Samantha.
Mm-hmm.
Sam and Sam.
Sam and Sam.
Yes.
Some parents have some crazy ideas.
Or maybe they're just not creative. I don't know.
Or they're not creative. So we'll take a quick break here. There's an injury timeout on what looks like a fairly serious injury here. So we'll be back 21-7. Pittsburgh leads, but Heritage driving here in the second quarter. So they continue to tend to the injured player for Heritage.
So I'm reading a tweet from a co-journalist, Nate Smith. He tweets out, Najee Harris breaks loose from about 7 Lions at the line on 4th and 2, then goes 49 yards for a touchdown. Antioch 32, Liberty 9. 3:02 left in the second quarter.
So Antioch with a 23-point lead in the first half. Pittsburgh plays Antioch on the final week of the season on a Saturday. And if Antioch can get to that game undefeated in both the conference and in their overall schedule, and Pittsburgh can get to that one at 9-1, that would be something. There's a throw to the back of the end zone. Pass interference in the back of the end zone, and the ball's going to be placed on the 1-yard line. Huge opportunity for Heritage to
mental mistakes from
in.
Pittsburgh. That ball didn't really look catchable.
Looked like it was going out the back. or out the side. But regardless, it's going to be first and goal at the 1 and a chance for the Patriots to make this a 7-point game halfway through the second quarter. So Antioch playing a fellow conference undefeated and handling them pretty well. So if they can hang on there, they would move to 3-0 in the conference. If Pittsburgh were to fall here, that would be huge, as it would leave Antioch alone in first. But we got a long way to go before that becomes a possibility. And it all starts with a touchdown here if Heritage can score. So the ball isn't placed at the 1. It's going to be moved up. They're going to, I guess they must have called that illegal contact as opposed to defensive pass interference. Pump fake, throw into the corner of the end zone, up to get it. Touchdown, Patriots. There's Tyrese Mack.
No, 2 games in a row, the touchdown in the corner of the end zone. Last time it was on the right side, this time on the left side. That's the number one offensive weapon. There's his twin brother right there. What is he doing over there? Can he? I don't think he's allowed to be there. I think the refs just told him, yeah. I'm surprised they didn't throw a penalty flag right there. He's part of the team. He can't be in the back of the end zone like this. We're going to let it slide, I guess.
Twin brother. I guess you get some perks. Extra point pending. That was a 6-yard touchdown for Tyrese Mack. Kick is up and good, right through the uprights. And we've got a 7-point game yet again. The Heritage Patriots answer back after a great interception to stall the drive for Pittsburgh. That was Trey Love on the interception, and then Tyrese Mack on the touchdown from Nick Zell. 21-14 with 7:11 left here in the second quarter here on NationalPrepStars.com.
Wow, dead silent right now.
So Heritage set to kick off after an important touchdown off a turnover as they trail by just 7 here in Pittsburgh. Great atmosphere, as it always is in the BVAL. Long run up to the kickoff here. And a low line drive. And that one, oh, it's picked up. That one might have gone out of bounds, but it's picked up and skirting the sideline and going all the way down to the 42-yard line. That's Isaiah Turner on the kick return of nearly 40 yards.
Got a loud pop from the crowd. First time we probably heard that in about 20 minutes. They were dead silent after that touchdown.
Yeah, after the score that made it a 7-point game. The crowd did get quiet, but they're right back in it with that electric return all the way out to the 43. So a 39-yard kick return gets them excellent field position to start this drive. Christian Young, the senior quarterback, with Turner in the backfield. Fakes the handoff, throws one to the right. Big opening to the right.
Deshaun Thomas.
First down, gain of 14.
It is tied up again with Deer Valley and Freedom. 15-15 with about 44 seconds left in the half.
So they must have got the touchdown and gone for 2 there to tie it up. Got some great games unfolding in the BVAL tonight. And we'll keep you updated on all those scores. There's a handoff up the middle. Turner's loose. He's still going, and he stumbles all the way down to the 10-yard line. A 25-yard run from Isaiah Turner, the senior running back. And it's 1st and goal at the 10. Check that, make that 1st and 10 at the 11. He almost made it to the 10. 1st and goal from the 11-yard line. And they run up and they're going to snap it quick. Christian Young from the shotgun. Takes the snap. Throws it to his left. No blocking there, and the wide receiver, Grisby, is undercut and taken down.
Heritage read that one right away.
Grisby with his 2nd reception of the game. He did gain a 1.5 yards there, so it'll be 2nd and 8 at the 9-yard line. Shotgun snap. Throw. Touchdown.
A.J. Boyd.
A.J. Boyd has had a monster game. And did he just do the Kaepernick celebration there? Maybe we can ask him after the game. That's what that looked like. And 4 plays, and just like that, it's a 14-point lead restored for the Pittsburgh Pirates, who answer back. The crowd was out of it. Yeah. That was actually 8-yard touchdown from Christian Young to A.J. Boyd. PAT drilled right through and nearly hit the scoreboard. So here at Pirate Stadium, 28-14, Pittsburgh leads as they reassert their 2-touchdown lead, and we'll be right back with our coverage here on NationalPrepStars.com. So a 53-yard scoring drive for the Pirates. A huge run by Turner set up the touchdown for A.J. Boyd. 3 for 3 on that drive was Christian Young. 6 different touchdown scorers here in a very high-scoring first half. There's a pooch kick down to the 15, trying to find a lane out to the 26-yard line. So they're going to start from the 26. And Heritage, yet again, needs an answer as they trail by 14. Heritage received the opening kickoff, so that means they'll kick off to start the second half, so they really need to get some points on the board in one of their final possessions here of the first half. Zell throws one to his right, complete, and then a flag thrown towards the end of the play. And if this is another one on Pittsburgh, this is starting to get ridiculous.
It looks like it does by the body language of Thompson.
Ineligible receiver downfield.
Actually, it is against Heritage. Well, I read that one wrong.
And that's going to be on Heritage, and that'll back them up inside their own 25-yard line. They'll snap it, I believe, from the 21.
No, all these penalties have delayed this game. There's still a lot of time remaining in the second half.
Yeah, other games developing more quickly. This one is probably going to be the last one to finish tonight. 1st and 15 from the 21. So Heritage will have to go 79 yards if they want to make this a one-possession game. Zell needs a big drive here. Takes the shotgun snap. Fakes the handoff to the left and rolls to his left. Fires to his receiver, incomplete. Looked like it was deflected there. Good defensive play
Jordan Parker, the 4-star cornerback, number 2 cornerback in California.
And he's going to be playing for Coach Bob Stoops in the near future. Big game Bob.
He's highly recruited. Had a really breakthrough game last year in the NCS semifinals against Foothill. Went against another 4-star player, Isaiah Langley, who committed to USC, a year older than Parker. Allowed him to only catch one ball for 2 yards the whole game. And the thing was, Langley, he had a quarterback who was going Division I too. So, really shut down that game. Made a big statement. Whole bunch of offers poured in after that.
So you think Parker, when he plays at Oklahoma, will be on the defensive side of the ball playing corner?
100%.
Is he a shutdown corner? Does he rely on speed? Does he rely on physical play, or is he all around?
He definitely has the speed. 4.4 right now, verified by Spark. And also just a lot of agility. Just he stays attached to receivers. Definitely a cover, a cover 1 cornerback.
An electric player that's going on to the Big 12, playing some of his final games here in Pittsburgh. We'll see some great star players in the big little game. What is it? Big little, little big?
Big little. It'll be the 97th big little game.
97th. We'll see a couple big name players in Najee Harris and Jordan Parker in that one. Big sack as Zell takes a hit. Yeah, Iffy Joyner. First name Iffy. Iffy Joyner, defensive end.
There's nothing iffy about him. He's a pretty good player. He's also a really good shot putter for Pittsburgh's track team.
Huh. So Mr. Joyner there with a sack. That's the second sack for Pittsburgh. He plays D end and tight end, the junior. 6'1", 225, good size. Scrambles to the left, and that play's broken. Boy, the offensive line looked like they just kind of let everyone through on that one. That's got to be frustrating for the quarterback.
Yeah, the offensive line breaking down 2 plays in a row.
That makes it 4th and 28. So really difficult stretch there for Heritage.
He's going to be punting in the back of his own end zone here. Let's see if Pittsburgh brings in the full blitz.
Big pressure on the long snapper in these situations, as always. I'll never be able to watch a punt the same after the Michigan State game last weekend. Timeout called, or do we have a penalty? Timeout taken by Heritage. They want to get this right. They want to try to punt this ball over midfield.
I mean, there's no way they're going to fake it. It's 28 yards. They're in the back of their own end zone. Wow, timeout on a punt? That's a waste of a timeout, in my opinion.
Yeah, punting from your own end zone. They're going to need to get this one. I mean, you can't really hope to get the ball much further than maybe the 40, 45-yard line.
I guess he just wants to be cautious and make sure they don't get the safety right here, but this is a punt. How difficult can it be?
So we'll see if after that touchdown that made it 21-14, we'll see if Heritage can grab any of the momentum back, because right now it's squarely on the Pittsburgh sideline. Seems like every time Heritage gets a little bit of momentum, it's stomped out quickly.
Well, yeah, it looks like they're going, in a blocking formation. They don't have any men out wide for a Heritage, so maybe they don't practice this often. Just
everyone is in to block. No gunners on this one, so an opportunity to return the punt here. Snap was high. Punt, they get it off, but it's a bouncer that only makes it to about the 28-yard line, so a disastrous punt there for Heritage. So this is going to leave an extremely short field for Pittsburgh, who's going to look to go up 3 scores here with just over 4 minutes left.
Oh, no.
And on top of that, a chop block penalty against Heritage, which means Pittsburgh is going to start with this ball deep inside enemy territory.
3 scores right here.
Someone in street clothes just ran on the field and took the ball.
That's the ball boy.
He was having fun out there. So they'll start with it at the 26. That punt ends up having a net yardage of 14 yards. Kind of like the Niners punter last night, who couldn't get anything more than about 25, 30 yards down the field. Here's the snap from the shotgun. Big pressure, and how about that? Heritage answers a couple of quarterback sacks with one of their own, and that's Marcus Bustos, middle linebacker, the junior. And that's a big sack right there. They need that. They needed to shift the field position just a little bit as they look to avoid going down by 21 points. Young takes the snap. Going to have to roll around again under big pressure, just throws up a prayer. Incomplete to the right side.
Is that intentional grounding right there?
Yeah, to me, he was still inside the hash marks. We'll see what the call is. Yeah, intentional grounding is going to be called here.
The flag was thrown really late.
So it looks like after they started the drive at the 26, they're going to be all the way back to the 46-yard line.
Oh, Lord.
Losses of 9 on the sack and then 10 on the penalty. And that's going to make it an astronomical 3rd down attempt here.
Third and 29.
3rd and 29. Your routine 3rd and 29 here.
Hey, a few years ago, Ray Rice had a 4th and 29-yard conversion. Remember that play?
Hey, diddle diddle, Ray Rice up the middle.
No, he did not go up the middle.
That's what he said in his post-game press conference. That's what the play call was on that one, even though he did bounce it.
It was a catch and run, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was a little dump-off pass from Joe Flacco.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, after the game, they interviewed him and said, was that a designed play? He said, no, that was hey diddle diddle, Ray Rice up the middle. 3rd and 29, not often you see these converted, but you'd ideally like to see Pittsburgh move the ball a little bit so that they can have a punt that can pin them in deep or try a very long field goal, although that would be unexpected.
See if they bomb this one. Screen
It's a
play.
Screen. Blocking is decent. He's got a lot of room, and he's almost to the 1st down. Picked up a lot of yards there.
Pittsburgh's band over there he ran into. Preparing for the halftime show, it appears. Yeah, definitely stay tuned to watch that. Pittsburgh's band, phenomenal. They travel the world. They compete nationally and internationally. They've been in the Macy's parade, the New Year's parade in London. They annually perform at Raider games along with other venues.
Not often you see a 42-yard field goal attempt in the BVAL, but here we go from 42 yards. Snap is good. Hold is good. The kick is up. And no good. Wide right. Had the distance. So a good leg there, but pushed it just barely to the right. And it remains 28-14. So a good defensive stand there.
Pittsburgh usually has good kickers. They have great soccer players. So, that translates into great kickers for football.
So a turnover, and the Patriots will take over. So a 42-yard attempt is no good. It'll be 1st and 10 from the 25-yard line.
Yeah, unlike
from
the
the 20,
NFL, on field goal attempts in high school, they put it at the 25-yard line instead of where the kicker, attempted his kick.
Right. There's a throw to the side, and it's bounced. Zell trying to connect with a receiver on the outside. He was trying to get it to Tyrese Mack. Mack with that great touchdown grab earlier. I was walking around the campus earlier on my way to the stadium. Heck of a campus here. You said they redid a lot of stuff around here recently.
In 2010, they built this south side. They still kept the really old north side of the campus. I'm not exactly sure how old, like probably around 100 years old. It's a beautiful campus, indoor, just has a classical look, but with some modern touches to it. They kept the old school brick. Antioch, they're getting redone too. They're keeping their old school brick look. Just two old schools getting redone within 5 years of each other, keeping an old look still. They're in older part of towns. That's what the people wanted, and it looks great to me.
Absolutely, and two really nice football facilities as well with nice turf fields.
Yeah, this turf, 2 years old now. The track too.
Zell takes the snap, pump fakes, and then lofts one. He had a receiver that was double covered, trying to get that one to Isaiah Clement.
Yeah, that big little game we've been talking about a lot. Well, it's played during the day. They started doing that in the 70s because it was getting too hostile at night. But there was a time where it was even more hostile, and that was back in the 40s. They suspended that game for 6 years because it was so bad. And then the year they brought it back, 7,000 were in attendance.
Yeah, I read an article earlier this week. I looked it up. It was an older article, but it was about that rivalry, and they interviewed some players who played in that rivalry in the 40s and 50s, and they were talking about how the crowds would be huge, the fans would be loud, and back then there was no artificial turf, and the fields would get muddy and nasty in those games.
There was probably no grass.
Great old rivalry.
Antioch, most of the time, didn't have grass anyway. They're mainly a dirt and mud field with white lines.
Wouldn't have it any other way. That's old school football, but now both teams with really nice, beautiful fields here.
Yeah, that's what I prefer, is natural grass, but unfortunately only one school in the BVAL, the 6 schools, have natural grass. It just makes sense in high school. It's way easier to maintain.
Hand off to the left, and Turner with a big gain. Isaiah Turner has had a nice game. He's got a score and a couple of long runs, and that will make it 2nd and 1, just short of the marker. So tell me this. That last game of the season is going to be a day game on a Saturday. Will the other schools play Friday, or do they play Saturday as well?
They all play Saturday.
Woo! So will all the games go on at the same time so that there's no, instances where one team goes, okay.
Or did I say Saturday? They play Friday.
They play
My bad.
Friday?
My
Okay.
bad. Did I say Saturday? Excuse
So
me.
we will know going into that game what each team has to do if it's winner take all or if Liberty is involved in the situation. Although you said earlier Liberty trailing to Antioch in Brentwood.
Hey, it's still early in conference play, only 2 games in, so it's
Anything
still
can happen.
anyone's.
Yeah.
No one's knocked out officially.
Big hit there as Turner gets up slowly, and he's going to walk over to the sideline gingerly. So Turner is out. That brings up 4th down and 3, and they're going to go for it. So a big play here for Pittsburgh as we tick down towards a minute left in the first half. Good snap, good dart throw over the middle, but dropped. A.J. Boyd. And that pass was broken up there by Ryan Perry.
Yeah, that was a nice hit by him. Was able to jar it loose.
So Perry, the outside linebacker, the senior, knocks that one loose as Boyd had it and lost it. So turnover on downs. And from the 45, this will probably be the last possession of the first half. Heritage wants some points. as they don't want to go into the half trailing by 2 possessions and having to kick it off to start the second half. Zell takes the snap, rolls the other way, and he's going to take it himself, and he's going to get to the sideline, a gain of about 3. So Zell for 3.
Hey,
a $1.10 left.
Over in Brentwood, it's close. Liberty is keeping it close. It's 32-17 at halftime.
So a couple of high-scoring games in the BVAL as it's 28-14 here and 32-17 over in Brentwood.
And 15-15 over in Antioch when Deer Valley's hosting Freedom.
And a throw there and a flag again. Pass is ruled incomplete, but we have a flag on the play.
How many yards combined do both teams have in penalties? 200 so far?
It's a sloppy game, without a doubt. Both coaches will be upset with that at the halftime locker room. Personal
Penalty
foul
on
on the
Pittsburgh.
defense. So Pittsburgh, yet again, both teams have had penalties, but Pittsburgh has really kind of imploded in the penalty department.
Yeah, what would the score be if they cut these in half?
Mm-hmm.
Well, how much more points would they have right now?
Well, by my count, that's 4 personal fouls already on Pittsburgh, and that's rarely, if ever, seen.
It doesn't look like they're playing dirty either. I mean,
no, it's
it doesn't look like it's a hostile environment. They're not, aggravated. Just mental mistakes.
Yeah, just mistakes. You expect to see some hostile penalties in a rivalry game, but this has been just basic penalties. There's a throw to a wide open receiver down the right side and all the way down inside the 10. Great catch there by their star receiver.
Tyrese Mack, showing why he's one of the best players in the league. And his brother is just as good as him. His brother actually was second team all-league last year, while Tyrese, he did have some big moments, didn't have any accolades. This year, for sure, probably going to get utility player first team overall.
Heritage with 57 seconds left. Zell takes the snap. Looking to the side, lofts one into the end zone, out the back.
This comes
Incomplete.
right by us.
And that ball's right
What's
by
up, Tyrese?
us.
Hey.
That throw was intended for Isaiah Clement.
Oh, excuse me. Sorry, I thought I saw number 3.
So Isaiah Clement unable to grab that one. That throw was out the back, and that'll stop the clock at 48.2 seconds left. 2nd and goal from the 4-yard line. Heritage has to get this.
What play do you think they're going to run here?
Maybe a slant over the middle. That's what I would call in Madden.
I'm going to say
There's a throw into the corner. Jump ball. Oh, what a grab. Huge play by the big man, Tyrese Mack.
he owns that corner. The corner, he just dominates.
Oh, what a grab. And we have a 1-possession game yet again. Another amazing grab by Tyrese Mack, who had 2 great ones on that drive, and caps it off with a 4-yard touchdown from Nick Zell. So extra point pending. We could have a 7-point game going into the half here. Well, that team got fired up after that touchdown. The whole sideline went nuts. We may have a ball game here in the second half. 28-20, PAT coming. PAT up and good. 28-21, 7-point game. Heritage has clawed right back into it. 42.2 seconds left, maybe enough time for a really short drive for Pittsburgh.
Hey, just a few minutes ago, it looked like Pittsburgh was going to put this one out. They were inside the red zone, up 2 scores. They had a chance to go up 3 scores, and now they're just up by 7 right before halftime.
And what's the theme been? Penalties, penalties, penalties. Yeah, they had the ball with a 14-point lead at the 25. Penalties got them all the way back out to the 46. They did get it back in to the 29-yard line, tried a field goal, missed it, and all of a sudden we got a 7-point game. So definitely frustrating for the Pittsburgh fans. Kickoff upcoming. Turner had an amazing return earlier in this game. He's paired with Armin McRaven, as the kickoff returners. Long run up for the kicker. And bombs one down the field. And it goes out of bounds. Tried to get it into that corner, but the ball goes out of bounds. And the ball will be placed at the 40. So a short field, good field position for Pittsburgh, who's going to try to take advantage. Okay, the kick out of bounds, they will elect to re-kick with a 5-yard penalty. So they'll kick from the 35. What do you make of that decision?
I don't know.
I probably would have taken the ball at the 40. Is that what the rule is in high school? Is it the same as college and the NFL where kick out of bounds you get it at the 40?
Mm-hmm. I mean,
why would they take a re-kick?
42 seconds left. I guess they want to try to make a play right here.
Interesting decision.
Expect to see a lateral or something like that.
We'll see. And a squib. A good squib. Opportunity to run it. And look at that. Look at that spin move. Great run there by Armin McRaven. But he only gets to the 31, so it backfires.
It did backfire, and not only that, but about 10 seconds came off the clock.
Good spin move there, but story of that will be that they're 9 yards behind and 10 seconds off where they would have been had they taken the penalty. Just a hair over 30 seconds left. They do have a couple of timeouts, so we'll see if Pittsburgh can get into field goal range here or get a score. It's a handoff up the middle on a draw play. A couple of missed tackles. And Thompson is loose all the way down to the Patriot 49.
And the clock's going to stop with a first down.
Clock stops with a first down. They're going to run up to the line. 25.5 seconds left in the first half. First and 10 for the Pirates from the 49-yard line.
Pittsburgh has 4 wide, one in the backfield.
Here's the snap. Christian Young looking. Darts one to the left, but incomplete. A little bit low, trying to find the star receiver corner, Parker.
You know, yeah, they're putting Tyrese on Parker. You know, he has these 2 touchdowns in the end zone. I expect to see them put Parker on him.
Mm-hmm.
Wouldn't you say?
Yeah.
Those 2 catches weren't against Parker.
Yeah.
So do you think from now on they should do that?
Mack has been the main offensive threat. You got to match him up with your best corner. There's a throw down the left side out of bounds, and that'll make it 3rd and 10.
But you know, it's got to be confusing for Pittsburgh to do that because he doesn't always line up at wide receiver. He'll line up in the slot. He'll line up in the backfield at running back.
Mm-hmm.
So what is Parker to do when he's at running back? You know what I mean?
Or if he had his twin brother on the field, who would cover who? Which receiver?
Well, I put him on Tyrese.
Mm-hmm.
You know, Tyreek has yet to play this year.
So 11 seconds left. Screen pass that gets blown up in the backfield.
Clock's going to run. Are they going to call timeout here? And no, they're not. That's going to be
like
halftime.
That's going to take us to halftime. So a thrilling first half. 49 points scored. And it's a close one. Pittsburgh Pirates lead the Heritage Patriots 28-21. We'll be right back with second half coverage here on NationalPrepStars.com.
Everybody get ready for the band. Who's you? Get the band. Get ready for the band. Wait, I don't know. Hold on. You stay where we're supposed to stay.
Bathroom run?
4 minutes. 2-5. 1-1. Take one. Take two. Get the sugar. Get the sugar. 3. Come out, 2. 3. What are you doing? They're sitting down. I don't want them to sit down. They're going to perform right now. 3. Yeah. Right there. Take 2. Take 2. What? Yeah, you can move. Yeah, get off. Take it off. Take 1. Take it off and go. Take it off and go. He knows. Done this before. Take 3. Take 1.
Almost time for the second half kickoff here in Pittsburgh. We got close games in Antioch and in Brentwood that we'll keep you updated on as we those games, they're going to end much quicker than this one does, so we'll have a couple final scores for you before this one finishes.
Actually, Freedom, I didn't tell you this. They blew that one wide open. It's 4 minutes left in the third quarter. It's 36-15.
So Freedom comes out firing.
21
in the second half.
unanswered points right there.
Yeah. Big storyline there, second half. So good news for Freedom. We'll see if Antioch, who's clinging to, an 8-point lead right now?
Yes.
Yeah, we'll see if they can hold on or if that one gets even closer. And then here we have a 7-point game, a thrilling first half marked by some really great long touchdowns, but also by a lot of Pittsburgh penalties. What do you think about this first half? Clearly Pittsburgh the better team, but also the more error-prone team. What was the story of the first half?
Mistakes by Pittsburgh. Mental mistakes. These weren't aggressive fouls. They were 4 personal fouls, but they didn't do them out of anger, out of rage. It just mental mistakes. Mm-hmm. If it weren't for some of these penalties, it would be probably blown out right now. They'd have at least a 3-touchdown lead, I'd say.
Also can't forget that big pick by number 80, Love, the defensive back, who snagged that ball thrown by Christian Young. Time for the second half kickoff, as we have some Alan Parsons Project Eye in the Sky played across the stadium here.
Here we go.
Big booming kickoff into the end zone. How about that? Don't see too many kickers bomb it like that.
Oh, you didn't watch our Deer Valley Liberty game. I don't think there was one kick returned, and
Really?
both teams scored about 40 points, so there was a lot of kicking.
It's always good to see high school teams with good special teams, because a lot of the times that can be a major problem. We'll see if Pittsburgh can correct some of the issues they had with penalties in the first half, as they'll start from their own 20. They have a 7-point lead, but the momentum might be with Heritage after a very strong end to the first half. To the right, Thompson picks up about 6 yards. Montez Thompson had an excellent first half. We had 6 different scorers in the first half. The only scorer to get 2 touchdowns was Tyrese Mack, number 3.
You see him there at the bottom of the screen going up against Parker again.
Yeah, good matchup there. Could be a matchup both ways.
Fumble.
Oh, a big fumble, but he falls on it. Miscommunication between Thompson and Christian Young. That could have been costly.
He fumbled it, but it seemed like he was the only one who realized he fumbled it. See, no one else even tried to go after that.
Yeah, lucky that he was paying attention and hopped on the ball. So that hurts, as it's now 3rd and 6. There was a big hole for him to run through, and he lost possession. So 3rd and 6 for Christian Young. Takes a snap, drops back, fires one over the middle, caught in stride. Great throw and catch there. Snagged there by Namonte Grisby. So Namonte Grisby with his 3rd catch of the night. 5'10" senior wide receiver over the middle. He's run a couple good routes to get some space for his quarterback.
Yeah, Christian Young coming to this game, the leading passer in the BVAL, over 1,500 yards. Now, he has a lot of weapons at his disposal.
Long bomb to the right side, just over the outstretched arms of A.J. Boyd, who he released. He was open down the field, but overthrown by about 1.5 yards, 2 yards.
Yeah, Young, he can give it to Boyd. You just saw him give it to Grisby. Dejon Thomas is another threat. Of course, Jordan Parker, the Oklahoma commit. And behind him, he can hand it off to Isaiah Turner and Montez Thompson. Probably the most offensive weapons in the BVAL. Arguably, Antioch is competition to that. but still really impressive.
There was a bubble screen to the right that got broken, and a great tackle there, as that was Jaime Luna who busted that play in the backfield and made a nice tackle, number 55. Jaime Luna with his first big play of the night, and that brings up a 3rd and more than 10. That'll be a 3rd and 12. So a chance here for the Patriots to make a stop, get the ball, and have a chance to get right back in this game. They haven't been tied in this one since it was 7-7. There's a pass over the middle, incomplete, and the receiver looked like he almost got a hand on it, but good defense there. And that was the free safety, Trey Love, who had that interception earlier. He's been playing good in the middle of the field with a pass defense there and an interception earlier. So how about this? Heritage is going to get the ball with a chance to tie the game. Back-to-back defensive stops for them.
Uh-oh.
Oh, punt gets over the head.
He's going to try to recover, and he
gonna-
does. Punter is
And he
hit.
gets lit up. That could be a penalty right there. So a crazy sequence reminds me of the Michigan State play earlier. The snap goes over the head. The punter tried to grab it and fling it and kick it with. He tried to kick it down the left sideline. He actually got it down there pretty far, but you saw that play. We were at a perfect angle. Isn't that roughing the punter?
No, when he fumbles it and he's scrambling, is it? I don't know.
But he had already punted the ball by the time he got hit. I don't know.
He did. He scrambled to get the ball back, and he was kind of running with it after he picked it up. So if he's scrambling, is it still considered roughing him?
It is if he has already punted the ball. If he hasn't punted it, he is a runner, right? I think that's what the rule is. But regardless, a play that could have been a disaster actually ends up being okay. Oh, a run busted in the backfield. Great defense, great run blitz on the right side of the line there. No gain there for the Patriots, who've been struggling mightily running the ball recently, but they have had some success through the air throwing it to Tyrese Mack. They had an early long touchdown from Kyle Bayett. And since then, it's been tough sledding on the ground. So here's Zell trying to get his team tied in this one. 2nd and 14, fakes the handoff and rolls to his left. He's got a man down the field, throws it and complete, but that's only going to be about a 3 or 4 yard gain, and that'll make it 3rd and 10. This place was electric earlier. It's getting pretty quiet. Great halftime show by the band.
As always.
3rd and 9. Nick Zell needs a first down here. Takes the shotgun snap, drops straight back. Now runs up the middle, and he's met at the line. That's a gain of about 2. Nowhere near the first down marker, so that'll be 4th and 7, and they'll bring out the punt team. So a good defensive stand, a 3 and out there. Good job by the Pittsburgh Pirates D.
Yeah, apparently this Antioch Liberty game is getting a little bit chippy. 2 plays in a row, offsetting penalties. Liberty just picked off the ball at their own 10-yard line. They still trail by 8 points with about 5 minutes remaining in the third quarter. No, we've seen the Heritage do this a couple times on their punt formation with the linemen, spreading apart right before the snap. Oh, what is that right there?
Ball loose, and they're going to say it went out of bounds.
There's a flag.
So it looked like after the ball deflected off of, that was number 27, Armin McRaven. It deflected off him, and as it was going out of bounds, it was deflected back in by a member of the Patriots. But the call here is going to be, it's going to negate that recovery.
No, I like to see a replay on that. So many things happen at once. I couldn't really tell.
The penalty here, I'm not sure what it's for, but they threw it the second that the Heritage player deflected it back into the field of play. Clear recovery by Heritage, so I wonder what the call is going to be here. The ball is going to remain with Pittsburgh.
Heritage crowd very upset.
Yeah, the fans do not like that on the Heritage
This
sideline.
reminds me of a soccer match. Have you ever seen a high school soccer match? Not once is the losing team ever happy with the refs. Ever. It's the refs' fault they lose every single game.
There is no sport where you can criticize an official more than soccer, even baseball, even football. And the fans did not enjoy that one. There's a run up the middle, and that should be enough for a first down, and it is. Montez Thompson with a great run, bouncing to the left and then back to the right. First down for the Pirates.
So Liberty, they go for it on 4th down on their own 41-yard line. They get it, and now they're at the Antioch's 25-yard line, down by 8.
You got to figure if they score, they'll go for 2 and try to tie that one up. Here's a snap, handoff up the middle to Thompson again. This time he's bottled up at the line, but he bounces out to the left. Almost broke it, but then a gang tackle, and he's only going to get about a half a yard with the forward progress on that one, so good stout run defense there. So after a first half that was really high scoring, we're seeing the defenses come up with the big plays here to start the second half. That was Jordan Stanley on the tackle. Throw to the right, juggled and dropped. Are they going to call that an incomplete pass or a fumble? The play is live, so they did call it a fumble, and it's going to be a loss of 2. So another big defensive stand. And it remains scoreless in the second half. And some confusion here. The Pittsburgh sideline is upset, trying to get clarification from the officials. They called that a fumble, and then we also have an injury. So an injury to, that looks like Sam Dixon, who is down on the field. 6:12 left in the third quarter and a 7-point lead for Pittsburgh, but they're about to punt. Injury timeout. We'll be right back here on nationalprepstars.com. Sam Dixon. So after the injury timeout is over, that brings up a 3rd and 12. I thought it was 4th and 12. That's my mistake. 3rd and 12 for Christian Young and the Pittsburgh offense. You're right, Young has a lot of weapons, maybe more than anyone in the BVAL. Can he find a way to convert this 3rd and 12? Calls for the shotgun snap and gets it. It's a big blitz, has a man over the middle. Plenty of yardage there, well past the first down, down to the 40, down to the 30, all the way down to the 23-yard line. And you were talking about him earlier. That's Deshaun Thomas. But there's a flag.
Of course.
And it looks like this one is going to come back. Wow, a holding on the offense. So what would have been an over 45-yard gain wiped out. That's the third time we've seen a huge gain wiped out by a penalty. Story of the game.
Galley's livid right now. I can see it all the way from over here.
So that makes it 3rd and 22. Instead of first down right outside the red zone, they're back to their own 22, facing a 3rd and 28. Goodness gracious. Really difficult situation for Pittsburgh here with all these penalties. They have to have more than 150 yards of penalties. There's a throw down the middle. Is that caught? Oh, my goodness, what a grab. Now, Monty Grisby.
All these weapons. Hard to go wrong.
He picked up the first down on 3rd and 28. A 29-yard gain on 3rd and 28. Can you believe it? It was a great throw, but that was one of the better catches I've seen. What a grab to go up and get it. Gain of 29. And now a handoff to the left side. Plenty of running room there. They ran that one to Isaiah Turner down the left side. Gets down to the 41.5-yard line, 41. Brings up 2nd and 2. So it looked like on 3rd and 28, that was going to be a punt upcoming. All of a sudden, it's an opportunity for Pittsburgh to take a 2-possession lead. Throw to the right, wide open, and a lot of running room. That's a first down. Turner on the halfback flat. First down all the way down to the 31. Pickup of 10. Montez Thompson checks back in. You got to figure he'll get the handoff at some point over the next few plays. He's been running really well. He flanks out to the left, looking for him. Throws it just over his head. Young looking for him on the flat. Yet another flag.
Really late this time. Didn't really see any physical contact. Possibly words being said between players.
Unsportsmanlike conduct on the defense. So we're used to seeing the Pittsburgh penalties. Now we're seeing some really inexcusable mistakes on the Heritage side.
Still down by 7 nearing the end of this third quarter. You can't do that.
Yeah, they're in a game that a lot of people thought they'd get blown out in, and they're right in this game. And then I think it was some kind of a taunting of the official or of the other team, because that one of the main referees in the center there saw something or heard something and was livid and threw his flag. So big mistake there. There's a throw into the back of the end zone. He's open. Did he get a foot down? He did. Touchdown.
Thomas.
Deshaun Thomas. Stores are up 34-21 with the PAT coming. Excellent pass and catch there from Young to Thomas. So Deshaun Thomas with the score there. 21 yards. Young, the holder. And the kick right down the middle. 35-21. So the Pirates bend, but they don't break on defense. And then they get a great drive from two of players. Finished off on a great 35-24 kickoff. We got a little welcome to the jungle. Whoever's in charge of the game going.
Yeah, but they still have yet to play the Pittsburgh Pirate anthem.
I'm waiting to hear this.
Yeah, they don't normally play it, unfortunately. I don't know why.
Huh.
Yeah, but according to the band, which was my source, in the game they lost to Monta Vista, according to them, they were playing the song when Monta Vista was scoring. Yeah, so they felt disrespected by that. According to my sources, the band.
4:38 left, a 14-point lead for the Pirates. They bomb one down the left side. Grabbed there at the 9, but then juggled, finally picked up. A juke move and then another juke, but can't get it past the 13. He gets it out to the 13-yard line. That's going to be an 87-yard excursion if they're going to try to make this a one-possession game again. Isaiah Clement had trouble handling the kickoff there. So a 14-point deficit. Nick Zell, I think, all in all, has had to do it. Now he needs to get back to a one-score game.
Ooh, it's just a 2-point game, Antioch and Liberty.
So Liberty scored, but did not convert the 2-point conversion. And we got a thriller out there in Brentwood. We'll keep you updated on that one. Yet another flag before the play. And this might be delay a game. Yeah, delay of game against Heritage there, and that'll back them up. It'll be 1st and 15 from their own 9. Rolling left. Throwing that one well out of bounds. Nowhere to go with it. Notice on a lot of plays they have Zell run a direct run to the left, so he'll run almost to the other sideline before throwing the ball. For a right-handed quarterback, it's really difficult to pull off the throw against the body like that, so. Broken play. He was looking for a handoff, and no one was there to take it, and he got crushed in the backfield for a loss of 2. And a miscommunication between him and Mack. I think he was wanting to hand that one off to Mack, and Mack was nowhere to be found. So that sets up a long, long 3rd down.
Antioch in position to score right now. End of the 3rd quarter, they had the ball at Liberty's 1-yard line.
3rd and 16 from their own 8. Zell takes the snap, rolls to his right. Going to chuck one incomplete. Really good defensive play there.
That was
and
to
that's
Mack.
Namonte Grisby making the defensive play after having a few great offensive plays
So
earlier.
they put Grisby on Mack on that play.
With another punt out of there. Last time that happened, the punt only made it to the 23-yard line. We'll see if they can get it a little farther than that this time.
But they did end up scoring. They punted it. Pittsburgh got those penalties. They got the ball back, and they scored.
On the missed field goal, and then they ended up scoring with less than 45 seconds left in that. Good snap. Gets the punt away.
Not very long.
Not a good punt. Did that hit number 7? No, it didn't. It's going to be down at the 30. And the sideline for Heritage thinks that hit Namonte Grisby.
Looks like the refs are going to talk about it.
Yeah,
You know,
that sure looked to me like it deflected off Grisby.
you
there
know,
for a second.
Heritage, I mean, if it didn't, I couldn't tell. They should have let it bounce more. But if it did, yeah, that was definitely the right thing to fall on it.
Knocking this one over. Someone's going to have the ball at the
They're
30-yard
saying
line.
it's Pittsburgh's ball.
Yeah, Pittsburgh's ball.
Yep. Heritage should have let it bounce a little more.
Yeah.
It was by like 2 Pittsburgh players' feet.
So a couple of punts that don't even travel 20 yards. Heritage, and that's put them behind the 8 ball here. Down 2 possessions. Up handled. Oh, the old hitch and go. Pump fake. Going for it all. Just over the head of Namonte Grisby. My favorite street ball play there. The hitch and go with a little pump fake to sell it. Perfectly executed. The throw was just a little far. There's a handoff to Thompson, who's got a big hole on the right side. Bounces it back to the left. And right in the center of the field, he's able to pick up about 8 yards there. It's going to be a 3rd and really short. 3rd and less than 2.
Yeah, so Antioch responded. 80-yard drive. Najee Harris, all those 80 yards, had a 79-yard run and then a 1-yard run.
Reminds me of my favorite running back, Adrian Peterson. He has a history of playing with so-so quarterbacks, so the play would usually be run it to AP as many times as you can to get to the end zone. And I think that's what the Najee Harris game plan is tonight.
Hey, all day. He played with Brett Favre a couple years. One good year, though.
Hey, Favre was my boy, but he had to deal with Tarvaris Jackson and Christian Ponder and Joe Webb and a lot of really tough quarterbacks to watch. Don't forget Gus Farrat, Kelly Holcomb,
Oh, yeah.
Brad Johnson.
Josh Jackson? Or Johnson?
Josh Johnson for one
Excuse
game,
me.
a couple games. Or
Oh,
Adrian. But he did get to
Oh,
play
yeah.
with one of the
Josh
greatest of all
Johnson,
time.
greatest quarterback in Vikings history.
And some news for some of you from the baseball world. A couple seconds ago, the Royals clinched, so they'll take on the Mets in the World Series starting Tuesday.
Oh, no. I don't even know if I want to watch the World Series anymore. I don't want to see the Royals and the Mets, do you?
I cannot stand the Royals. As an A's fan, I am not a fan. There's a throw into the corner of the end zone. Did he get it?
That
That's
looks
a
like
catch,
a
but I
flag
think
right
he might have
there.
been out of bounds.
He put his hands in front of the face of the wide receiver without turning around. That should be a flag
He
right
was
there.
not playing the ball, so technically that has to be called. So, looked like Thomas was going to get a touchdown there, but his foot was out and there was no pass
That's pretty
interference
unfortunate
called.
for Pittsburgh. They've been getting all these penalties, so many, and they can't get a call right there for them on their side.
Mhm.
So
Difficult for Pittsburgh, but they do have a 14-point lead. There's a throw to the left side,
Frustrating.
complete, pushing his way down inside the 10, down to the 9. Jordan Parker. That's going to leave like a 3rd and 4, 3rd and a long 3.
flag
And now a
going
flag
high in the
before
air.
the play. Wow. An unsportsmanlike conduct against Pittsburgh. And they called that on Parker on the sideline. Can you believe that?
Oh, my goodness.
Tough play by the superstar there to – well, that's a big mistake. That brings them all the way back to the 25. A 15-yard penalty from the sideline. That is a killer. That's inexcusable. Moves them to the very edge of field goal range when they were right there for a score. So Christian Young takes the snap from the shotgun, scans the field. There's a lot of pressure. He's going to roll to the right and just throw one out of bounds. Oh, and the ref gets hit hard there. Dushan Thomas ran into him. I think the ref's okay. Incidental contact over there. I think he's all right. So that makes it 4th and 18 from the 25. This would be a 42-yard field goal if they try it from the center of the field.
It's not always safe out there for the refs. Even that one who was on the sideline. Seldomly do you ever see a sideline ref get hit.
Yeah. Rare play there as the wide receiver was coming back to the ball and couldn't stop in time. Looks like they are going to try a field goal here from about 42, 43 yards. And that would be something. If they could hit one from that distance.
Earlier this year,
Their kicker, Alberto Hernandez.
I saw a 53-yard field goal on this field this year is by Vacaville.
Wow. 42-yard attempt for Hernandez. Alberto Hernandez from way back, and he pulled that one left. Left and short, so no good.
Didn't get all that one.
Yeah, it remains a 14-point lead for Pittsburgh. So Antioch back up by 9, and Pittsburgh up by 14. So
Antioch's up by 10, by the way.
they're up by 10.
So
Yeah, they go for 2 a lot with
every
that kind
time
of running back.
Yeah, they kind of feel like their kicking game is – they have a better chance at running it 2 yards than kicking it 10 or 20.
That's what the Pittsburgh Steelers are doing this year. They hardly ever kick extra points.
I mean, the NFL has that new rule.
Fakes the handoff. Throw over the middle. Oh, nearly intercepted. An opportunity there for Bobby Myers to intercept that one, and he wasn't able to bring it down. Actually, that was Charlie Ramirez, the star linebacker. Almost got to it. You mentioned Ramirez earlier. He is one of the leading tacklers in the BVAL, and his dad is the defensive coordinator.
That is very true. He was on that team in 1991 that defeated De La Salle. He was a sophomore.
There's a throw almost intercepted again and almost intercepted by Charlie Ramirez. So
Charlie Ramirez, he's not going to impress anyone with his size, about 185 pounds as a linebacker, but he's a huge playmaker. Last season, he had 24 tackles for loss.
Wow.
He also had, I believe, about 3 or 4 interceptions as well.
One of those star players that seems to put himself in a good position. So Zell needs some big yardage here. Scans the field, throws one on a slant, incomplete as it hits the turf. Trying to find
Magale, they put Parker on him.
Trying to find Magale, and the shutdown corner shuts him down. 1:31 left here in the third quarter, and it's going to be another punt. Boy, this is a long game. We're going to have some final scores coming in halfway through the fourth quarter here. Punt team out in full protect mode for their punter.
Wow, Freedom
Perfect
really
snap.
put up on Deer Valley. 50 points right now.
Wow. And this punt is definitely a better one for Heritage, as that one will stop at the 43-yard line. What's the score over there in
50-21, 4 minutes left in the game.
So it looks like a certain win there for Freedom. Antioch up 10. They're trying to close that one out. So Freedom would move to 1-2 in the BVAL, which would drop Deer Valley to 0-3 and leave them at the bottom of the standings. If Antioch were to win, they'd be 3-0, and Liberty would be 2-1. Pittsburgh trying to get to 3-0 as well. Here's the handoff up the middle to Thompson. Makes a man miss and then goes to the right side, down to the 40, to the 30, to the 20, still up, to the 10. Oh, he stepped out of bounds at about the 12-yard line. Very nearly broke a 50-yard run for a score, but they're going to mark him down at about the 10-yard line, maybe the 12. Actually, they're going to put him all the way back at the 17. They're going to say that right foot stepped out right around the 17-yard line. So finally, after all those penalties, it looks like Pittsburgh's starting to roll. There's a throw into the corner. Oh, my goodness, he almost did it.
Wow, that would have been one heck of a catch. Wow, this kid is talented. No.
A.J. Boyd running into the corner, throws one hand at it, unable to grab it, but gets it on the second attempt, but unable to get a foot down. Heck of a play. You want to talk about an athletic wide receiver.
Only a sophomore, Eric.
Yeah, definitely someone to watch.
You know, I did create the top 25 athletes in the BVAL for the fall 2015. Came out last week. He didn't make it, but, you know, he was a guy I was really considering putting up there. Definitely going to make it next year.
He's someone that, when a lot of these great senior players leave, he can become a team leader and one of the better players in the BVAL. He already is.
Oh, yeah, I'll say. Yeah, many
He
players.
just seems to get open. You don't see guys that young that run routes that well.
Just a lot of quick lateral movement from him.
Some vintage Percy Harvin moves there. Hand off to Thompson up the middle. He's met at the line, but that doesn't matter. He bounces to the left and buries his way down to just past the 10. And that's going to leave a 4th down and about 2. So maybe a field goal upcoming. We'll see if they go for it, but that'll be on the other side. This is the end of the third quarter. It's a 35-21 lead for the Pittsburgh Pirates over the Heritage Patriots. Fourth quarter coverage here on NationalPrepStars.com. So it's 4th and 2 from the 10-yard line. The field goal unit kept off the field. They're going to go for it. Christian Young from the shotgun takes the snap, rolls to his right, fires, incomplete, turnover on downs.
That was to Boyd again. How many targets has he had tonight?
The kid gets open. Just a great talent, but that throw a little bit high. So just a glimmer of hope for Heritage as they avoid giving up any points there. And they're going to try to cut into this 14-point deficit, but they got a long way to go as they're going to start from their own 10.
Yeah, no points in the second half so far for them. Pittsburgh last year dominated the BVAL in the second half, all 5 games, and didn't allow 1 point. 3 of those games, they were actually down at halftime.
Wow.
So very impressive defense. I told you before, they were phenomenal.
That's a mark of good coaching, teams that get better as the game goes on. Heritage going to need a minor miracle here, but we'll see. There's an option play, a pitch to the right, and Mack able to gain maybe 1, about 2 yards. So you just mentioned earlier we have one final score from the BVAL. And it's Freedom on top. Zell takes the snap, handoff up the middle and stuffed. Dominic Warren Plays fullback and middle linebacker. Gets a carry. Can't get it anywhere. All the offensive linemen looking at the playbook on their wrists. Don't see that too often.
They've been doing it all game. Yeah, nowadays,
Huge pressure,
ooh,
and that might be a
huge
penalty.
hit right there.
We'll see.
You know, yeah, nowadays every single player has a wristband.
Huh.
That was just quick tempo offense that these teams are picking up and starting to do.
Yeah, that's different than even 5, 6, 7 years ago. You would never see anything like that other than maybe the quarterback. So another punt as Heritage unable to capitalize on a defensive stop. And Pittsburgh will love to see that as we tick down towards 10 minutes left in this one. There's a snap and an end-over-end punt. Fair caught by A.J. Boyd. And they'll start with it from the 43-yard line. So more good field position for Pittsburgh, who has 10:18 left and a 14-point lead. Shotgun snap. Oh, and a big sack. About 4 players involved on that sack of Christian Young, led by their star middle linebacker, Marcus Bustos. So they're back to their own 47.
Antioch now 47-30. 7 minutes left in the fourth quarter. Najee Harris, 70-yard touchdown run, breaks about 5 tackles.
So he's somewhere over 200 yards. He's got to be. But
323 yards.
323 yards for Harris. He's already sitting on, what, 1,400 for the year? Coming into this game? He's got to be somewhere around 1,700 yards. That's insane. You mentioned he had one game earlier this year that broke some records.
Oh, yeah, he did. In one game, total offense, 490 yards.
That's absolutely ridiculous. One of those players that someday you'll say, I saw him play when he was in high school. Snap to Young is a bit low, but he handles it. Plenty of time to scan the field. Tried to throw one on a crossing route to Tyrone Roberts. Unable to grab it, a little bit high. That brings up 3rd and 20. And Young will take the shotgun snap a little bit low. All-out blitz. Bombs one down the side. It's caught. Cut back. And he's inside the 20. There's the star, A.J. Boyd. A huge play from Boyd. On a 3rd and 19, he picks up 31 yards. The sophomore getting it done. So now they're in the red zone inside the 20. They'll take the snap from the 19. The Pirates looking to add to their already 14-point lead. There's a throw into the corner of the end zone. Oh, a perfect throw. Was he in bounds? They'll say he made the catch, but went out of bounds right around the 1-yard line.
Hey, another sideline catch there by Deshaun Thomas. Last time we saw him do that was on the other side of the field in the end zone.
So
All right,
Deshaun
Pittsburgh
Thomas
scores here. It's pretty much over.
and then a run up the middle for Turner, and Turner pounds it in. A 1-yard touchdown rush by Isaiah Turner, and that will put this one pretty much out of reach. It's now 41-21 with the PAT upcoming.
Has the fat lady sang?
She's ready to sing, but she has not sung yet.
She's warming up. Warming up her vocals right
That's
now.
right. Barring a nice quick touchdown drive by Heritage on their next drive, she'll sing. That one was deflected but still got through, 42-21. The late, great Yogi Berra would say it ain't over till it's over, but it's almost over. It's going to be an amazing atmosphere when Antioch travels here in 2 weeks. They got a great band here. They got a great crowd. I would imagine for that game, all this will be full, and then maybe this area around here, this walking area, will be completely full too.
Yeah.
It's got to be a packed house for that one, and I'm sure it'll be loud. So the ensuing kickoff, boom down the field, takes it from the 12 and gets it out to about the 29. So a decent return. That leaves us with 8 minutes and 30 seconds left. So can Nick Zell and Tyrese Mack find a way to get back within 2 touchdowns? This one is pretty much in the books, but we'll see if a quick scoring drive can get Heritage back into the conversation. There's a good throw and a good catch and a big hit.
Took a big hit. Yeah, he had to go up high for that one up the middle, so that's always scary for a wide out or tight end.
It's a great catch there by Moises Cortez. 6'3", 210, so that's a big target. Might want to give him the ball.
See, they're lining up Tyrese Mack at the right. They got Jordan Parker over there. Interesting matchup.
Snap and a roll to the right. Room to run, but he throws it, and he overthrows his intended target. And they want to flag the Heritage sideline for a late hit. Just trying to find Marquise Washington, but threw that well over him.
Has anyone ever said, "Good job, refs"?
Unlikely.
Oh, good job, refs. You called such a great game. Has anyone ever gone to a ref after that?
It's a thankless job. I used to umpire Little League games for volunteer hours for high school, and I didn't even get any thanks then, and that was Little League.
Yeah, I guess refereeing is not a very rewarding job.
There's a long bomb down the left side, and a big tussle for the ball. No penalty called. There's good, clean defense there. That'll bring up 4th and 5. And decision time for Coach Sanders. So they'll go for it. This is a big play. Zell from the shotgun. Takes the snap. A lot of pressure, dancing around. Fires one to the right side, intercepted. And he could take this the whole way. Down to the 20, to the 10, to the 5. It's a pick 6. And there goes that man again. Jordan Parker with a pick six, and that should just about do it. It's a 4-score game.
It's always dangerous throwing it in the flats, and especially against a 4-star recruiting cornerback like Parker. You're going to get that result a lot.
He jumped the route, and PAT upcoming. This could be a 28-point game, so we expected it to be a Pittsburgh win, and we expected it to be a decisive one. It just took a little bit longer than we thought with all those penalties. But big plays from the star players. Jordan Parker, Isaiah Turner, A.J. Boyd, Montez Thompson, and their quarterback, Christian Young. So Pittsburgh looking good, Antioch looking good. We're in store for a great game in a couple weeks.
Hey, I'm looking forward to the game next week. Antioch versus Deer Valley, a Mayor's Cup game. 2 crosstown rivals. A lot of people are going to be there.
And Pittsburgh taking on Liberty. So if Liberty is able to win that one's in Brentwood, right? If Liberty's able to win that one, that shakes everything up.
It does. Well, what if Deer Valley beats Antioch?
Anything can happen. I think no matter what, it's going to come down to that final weekend, and there's going to be some great games. And it all culminates with Pittsburgh versus Antioch. Pittsburgh-Antioch game on Saturday, November 7th at 1:30. And we hope to have that for you here on National Prep Stars. Big second half for Pittsburgh. They came into the half only leading by 7. Now they have a 4-score lead. One other game is final in the BVAL. Freedom beat Deer Valley. Antioch with a big lead now over Liberty, trying to seal that one in Brentwood.
Here we go. We're going to see this one on replay.
Yeah, we've had a great game here and a lot of big plays in this one, none more so than that pick six. Undercut the route. And that's the mark of not just a talented corner, but a really smart corner. Knowing when to come in and try to jump a route and not leave your safety out to dry. So smart play there, as you saw. There's a throw to the right. And quickly contained for a gain of about 3. .7:23 left as this game continues to drag on. Usually these BVAL games, they don't last more than 2 hours 15, 2 hours 30. This can be a 3-hour game. .7:23 left. 2nd and 7 from the 32. Zell fires one to the outside. Cut back inside. Oh! An absolutely monstrous hit. And Brandon Decker got the brunt of that, but he looks to be all right.
You know, I mean, there's still 7 minutes left in this game, but what I take away from it is Pittsburgh was able to win while playing sloppy.
Yeah. Sometimes talent wins out no matter what.
So that's scary for teams facing them because you can fix those penalty mistakes easily. What would the score have been if they cut those penalties in half?
Yeah, difficult situation for Pittsburgh early in the game with all sorts of personal fouls, unsportsmanlike conducts, but they weren't dirty plays. They were just simple mistakes. And you can't help but feel that maybe they would have been up by a lot more.
Yeah, I'd say at least a touchdown or 2. Well, diving catch for that punt there by A.J. Boyd. Laid out for that one. Looks like Pittsburgh's second team offense getting some reps. I don't see a quarterback out there. There he goes.
So a chance for the second stringers to come in and try to make an impact. And a bad snap. And still able to make something out of it. That's Seyu Kuka.
Kuka. One of his sisters on the basketball team, because there's a Kuka on there, and she's really good point guard.
The 6'1 junior quarterback. He'll also play wide receiver.
Yeah, he's rocking number 18, which was Sherrod Thompson's number before he transferred to Liberty.
Thompson, a running back or a wide receiver?
Safety. Played wide receiver here. Now he's playing running back at Liberty.
And he committed to
Oregon State.
Oregon State, going up to Corvallis.
Originally committed to Cal around the same time Parker did, but he decommitted around the same time Parker did too. They're actually best friends. They've known each other since kindergarten. Yeah, they went to Haight Elementary School in Alameda. That's where they met, and they bonded instantly over passion for football at that young of an age. Well, that's no surprise since they're so talented that they've loved the game for that long. They were looking at, colleges together. They were hashtagging pictures of themselves, package deal. They tried to go to the same place, but ended up not choosing different paths. They had, some similar offers.
Offers to go, I guess, to Coach Sonny Dykes over at Cal. But Oregon State was the choice for...
Yeah, they both have offers from Cal, UCLA, USC, Oklahoma, Oregon State, I believe. Not sure of all of them, but of those at least.
A lot goes into that decision. I mean, you would think if you're choosing between UCLA and Oklahoma or Cal or Oregon State and Oklahoma, you'd pick Oklahoma, but you want to be close to home. I know a lot of people who were big stars in high school and they had offers to go back east. They had offers to go in the SEC, and a lot of them stayed in the Pac-12 because they wanted to be close to home, and I can understand that.
Yeah, I asked him that week why he chose there. He just said he just felt more wanted. He just, he just fit in there. It was shortly after his visit. And he said he also likes the weather, surprisingly. And I gave him a strange look, like, what are you talking about? He said, I like it cold. He likes the snow. So, there you go.
That's good to hear. I like football in the cold. It's more fun to play. Not the cold, like 30 degrees, but nice 50-degree day. That's
like
about as good as it
Ohio
gets.
in January?
Yeah. Yeah, maybe not Buffalo in December when it's -5, but I'll take a nice 45, 50-degree day. Gets hot under all those pads. 4:30 left as we tick down towards the final in this one. Has Antioch gone final yet? We will find out for you. But it looks like Pittsburgh will move to 7-1 overall and 3-0 in the BVAL.
Antioch's up 55-37 with 2.5 minutes remaining.
And Antioch will certainly move to 3-0 and 8-0 overall. So let's say, just for argument's sake, Antioch wins out. Oh my gosh, a huge hit. And the ball's loose.
Are they going to call that a fumble?
I think his arm was going forward, but they're going to call that a fumble recovered by
Heritage.
That sure looked to me like it wasn't a fumble, but
His arm was going forward, but he didn't make contact with his arm. The defender made contact with the ball, swatted it like he was playing basketball.
that was all ball.
Oh, ball, ref, come on. I mean, well, I get the ref agree with the defender.
So 2nd and 24, and they're really backed up all the way inside their own 5. And now another flag. And that'll be half the distance to the goal, and now they're at their own 1-yard line. And a running play up the middle to get them a little bit of space, about a 4-yard gain there for Dominic Warren. Run to the right, throw into the flat. That's not going to be enough for a first down, but a completion. So another punt as we tick down towards 3 minutes left in this one. So Pittsburgh and Antioch, one more conference game each. If they can take care of business, they'll be undefeated going into the final game of the season where they take on each other here at Pirate Stadium. Is that always the last game of the year? And a lot of the time they come into that game where the winner takes all, right, for the conference. That hasn't happened a lot recently?
Last time that happened was 2002.
Really? Wow.
Yeah, Antioch right now is ranked top 200 in the nation. 2 years ago, on Max Preps, they were ranked in the 8,000s.
Wow.
Antioch's been in a drought. As I told you, they haven't won league since 1984.
So that would be a big moment for Antioch if they could come into Pittsburgh at their rival stadium and pull off a historic win. And for Pittsburgh, they just want to keep rolling. They're the powerhouse. They've won 10 of the last 13, as you said earlier. Both well on their way to wins today. One more game apiece. Antioch takes on Deer Valley next week, and Pittsburgh takes on Liberty in Brentwood.
Hey, we got a Najee in this game, Najee Smith. Is that what his name was? That's what the announcer said.
It is Najee Smith.
Here we go.
Without a doubt, the second best Najee in the conference. One of the top two. There's a throw right down the middle, splits the seam. Great catch there by Bobby Myers, the senior.
Pittsburgh's second team looking really nice right now.
There's a run to the outside, and a seam, and a score. That's a touchdown for Pittsburgh. Michael Nelson, the junior running back, the third different running back to score for Pittsburgh. And with under 2 minutes remaining, they've broken 50. They're up 55-21 with the PAT upcoming.
Wow,
So a
3 50 burgers tonight in the BVAL. 3 games, 3 50 burgers.
50 burger for Antioch, which is expected. 50 burger for Pittsburgh, which is expected. But then Freedom on Deer Valley. Was that game in Antioch?
Mm-hmm.
Wow, that's
Freedom's a good team.
a blocked PAT. So it remains 55-21. In what will probably be the final possession of the game. It'll be a kickoff from Pittsburgh to Heritage. We'll be right back here on National Prep Stars.
I'm going to go with Boyd, AJ Boyd. He had a touchdown. He had a whole bunch of other catches, too. What? No, what? No?
1:57 left. You mentioned last season Pittsburgh's defense didn't give up a point in the second half at home. What was the stat?
In all league.
They never gave up a point in the second half in any league game.
Last year.
That's unbelievable. Tonight, they've done the same thing. It was 28-21 at the half. It's now 55-21. 27 unanswered points and a certain victory for the Pirates. I like that midfield logo. It looks pretty pro right there. There's a kick return up the middle with 1:50 left.
Well, most of the schools in the BVAL have that logo. Antioch has it.
Does Antioch have a panther or is it an A?
It's an A with a panther going through it.
Oh, wow.
They have a Liberty has a logo too, I believe, and so does Freedom, I believe. I know they have colored end zones at least.
Mm-hmm.
All four of those schools.
So what should be the final drive of the game for Heritage. Tough night for the Patriots. They made it close going into the half, but now just trying to maybe add some points so they can leave with something to hang their hat on. There's a run to the right side and some good yardage. That's Kyle Bayett, who had that touchdown earlier, 51-yarder. And since then, it's been tough sledding for the run game. Second and 3 from the 33. Shotgun snap, and now we'll run to the left side, and that's enough for the first down. Bayett yet again. So he started the game and had some success coming out of the backfield. From the shotgun yet again as we go under 1 minute left. A run up the middle, spin move, and down to the 41.
If you had to give out an MVP to this game, who would you give it to?
Well, despite a great game for Tyrese Mack, you got to give it to someone on the winning team, and you probably got to give it to Jordan Parker for that pick six. He was a shutdown player on defense and
the 92-yard touchdown, too.
Yeah.
A.J. Boyd, I think, comes in a close second.
Mm-hmm.
Really impressed by him. I seen a Pittsburgh game earlier this year against Vacaville. He didn't really get a lot of targets, but tonight been really great. Seen some footage of him against Freedom. He scored the game-winning touchdown of that game. And, yeah, he broke a bunch of tackles to make it a 44-yard TD.
Other than that pick by Christian Young, he was pretty good tonight, too. There's a run to the right side. Cuts back inside and gains a few yards, gains about 6. And that will bring us almost to the end of this one. There's going to be one more play. So our player of the game, Jordan Parker. He's off to Oklahoma after the season, but he's got 2 more games here at Pittsburgh before the NCS playoffs. A few more things to finish up here in high school, but we give him the player of the game tonight. And wish him the best of luck in the future when he takes off to Oklahoma. 4.1 seconds left. Clock stops after a first down. Cool. And I think that's going to be it. So the final score here tonight, the Pittsburgh Pirates 55, the Heritage Patriots 21. Thank you for joining us on NationalPrepStars.com. For Luke Johnson and our entire crew here, I'm Eric Stenholm. Thank you and good night.
Yeah. All right, welcome to National Prep Stars. I'm here with Jordan Parker and head coach Vic Galley. Guys, it was a real close game at halftime, only up 1 touchdown, but he shut him out in the second half. What adjustments did you make during intermission?
Locker room, we didn't really make too many adjustments. We just know what we got to do. Coach Galley and Coach Ram told us what we got to do, and we got to step up. We got to stop allowing the big plays, so we made that happen in the second half.
Yeah, basically we didn't make a whole lot of adjustments. We just took care of things that we needed to take care of. And this team is like a box of chocolates almost. We never know where to get inside. We make some big plays. We leave a lot of points on the board. We're kind of shooting ourselves in the foot at times. And if we take care of the things that we need to take care of, then we're fine. And this is a result. I was hoping to get this earlier, but we didn't. Hey, hats off to them. Them guys fought hard and played tough and hung for a long time. So, great job by Heritage.
All right, Parker, you were able to break away with 2 big plays. You had a 92-yard touchdown catch and run, and you also had a pick 6 in the fourth quarter. How were you able to be such a playmaker tonight?
My coaches just gave me the opportunity. My coaches gave me the game plan, and I followed it just like they wanted me to, and that's what happened.
All right, guys, you and Antioch are the only 2 remaining undefeated teams in the league. It looks like that game's going to come down to the league championship. So, what are your thoughts on them and your chances against them?
Well, we're not playing them this week. We're playing Liberty, but we'll take care of them when the time comes. I mean, we play a pretty good schedule, so we've been in some battles, so we play some games. So hopefully, we're battle tested, and when it comes time for a big game, we've been battle tested. So I can't speak for them. So.
Yeah, like you said, we're not worried about them. We're worried about Liberty next week. Next week is a big game, and when that week comes, then we'll be worried about that week.
All right, gentlemen, thank you very much. I am Luke Johnson, National Prep Stars.
Nice. Thank you, guys.
Hey.
Thank you.
Hey, good
Thank
job.
you. Good job out there.
Thank you. Thank you.